Hey everyone, Ayana here from Am.A-line Collections. We're here for our second Boss Babes conversation. I'm so excited. I love these ladies. So it's great to have them all here. So to give you a brief introduction to everybody, we have Ashley from Spice Clothing. We have Shannon from Demand Chan Latrice. We've got Chelsea from Gotcha Packed. And we have Latigra from Purdy Design Studio. So we're going to get into it a little bit tonight. We're going to talk about a little bit about what we learned from last year and things that we look forward to this year. So I'm going to have whoever wants to go first is fine. Let's not all jump at once though.
What do we want to talk about first?
Let's go ahead and talk about what did you learn or the end of the year from we started this series in quarter four. So quarter four and holiday season, what did you learn from it, or what could you take from last year and apply to this year?
I would say,
go ahead, Ash. You go first.
Okay. I would say that I learned a lot about customer service and just kind of like keeping my customers at the forefront, because holiday time is always a little hard. Like, people are buying for other people, or they're like finding things that they've never seen before, and they're just ordering without ever like knowing too much. Like, you're in holiday time, you're not in the like super research phase as much. You're just kind of like buying things, knowing that you can return or whatever. So there definitely is like a lot of returns and a lot of like helping customers a lot more, educating them if they haven't been a part of your brand for a long time. So it was a lot about customer service and dealing and kind of juggling all the hats at the same time, between actually shipping the orders and having the customer service going at the same time. But it was really good. I'm really glad that I spent the year like growing like a really good tribe that kind of stuck with me. So I think that really helps throughout the end of the year.
Good, Chelsea. You were ready.
Yeah, I agree with that. I also, I was going to say, I think I learned to be more resilient. I think with COVID, Gotcha Packed was just a year in once COVID hit. And so I think everything with the core vision of the business was kind of thrown for a loop. And that was really hard. So I learned to kind of just be open-minded and see where things went. And I think I was pleasantly surprised by, the people that maybe aren't traveling now. They still need help, and they still want to feel refreshed, and they still want to get excited, and they want to stick to their routine, whether that's, still be working from home or whatever. So getting these like surprise outfits in the mail was still really fun for them, and made good gift ideas. And then we even started doing like in-person styling services with like wine and cheese parties, like for groups of women, and that like was really fun. So just kind of pivoting and being open-minded was definitely something I learned. Yeah.
Awesome. Miss Shannon.
I don't have an answer. I was just sitting here like going through my head trying to think of something that I learned in last year, because it was so much.
You want us to come back to you?
Yeah, come back to me. I usually have an answer off the top of my head, but today I'm like, I don't know. I know there's answers, but I need to think on it really quick.
That's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead, Latigra.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go. Well, for me, it's different because I started my business this year, even though I've had a business in the past. It was different for me because I started my business amidst the pandemic, and I had so much else going on personally, trying to start my business around the same time. I think for me, my biggest thing this year was balance. I think for me, being a mom, being a partner, being a businesswoman, is just learning how to balance my life more. I didn't think I thought I had more of a grasp on that, but like I said, starting a business with a toddler and a partner and cooking, I just learned that my life was not balanced. And that's the thing I think I took away from this year, is just be more balanced, to be more on top of things. I was telling Yana, like, I'm going to be more organized this year because I have been very unorganized. But that's one thing I think I'll take away from this year.
I was going to say, do you have any advice on how you learn to be more balanced? Because I could use some help with that.
For me, it was I create a schedule. I've been more, but I'm also really flexible with my schedule. Like most of my day, like up until 12 o'clock is just me and my son. Like we just do things together. It's just us. It's mommy and me time. Then after that point in time, I'm like, hey, these are 2 hours. He takes a nap. I do whatever I want to do. And then like when his father comes home, it's him and I time. I don't work after that point. That's kind of how I do it. It doesn't always work, but I try to be that way.
Yeah. Nice.
Well, Shannon, have you thought about anything? Are you trying or
Girl,
do it go first?
you know what? It's so crazy because I couldn't pinpoint one thing, but when Latifah said balance, I was like, girl, that was mine. I should have said that. Yeah, but I honestly can't say that it was just I can't say that it was just like a last year thing though. I think I've always struggled with balance. And I've also learned I think what I learned this year really is that it doesn't matter how much information you soak up and how much you research, you have to pull away from studying how to upgrade your business to take time to actually apply all of the things that you learned. But I get so consumed, especially with this new Clubhouse app. It's so many just things I'm learning from just networking with other people. And even when I, come on to the chats with you guys before in the past when we talked, I leave like with other, I guess, perspectives. And then I'm like, okay, well, you're so busy, like, meeting and networking and, finding out new things. But it's like, it's hard to take time. And I guess that goes back to balance too, to find the time in the day to actually apply all of those things. And I'm realizing that until I do that, my business is going to be like exactly where it is. So I think that's a struggle.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I have one more thing. I want to add one more thing. Guys, I learned that it's super important to like collaborate and to work with other small businesses because that's something that I guess I didn't put as much importance or credence on at the beginning of launching my business. And the farther I go, the more I'm like, oh my gosh, we're almost like helping each other. Like we're like ladder rungs for each other when we help other people that are in similar niches to us, especially like just exposing different audiences. I think that's something that's been huge. And especially, this is gonna sound so crazy, but I keep thinking, even if the pandemic year, 2020, launching the clothing line and, launching our business stuff, it wasn't what we wanted, but sometimes I think it's kind of what we needed because a lot of people were paying more attention to small businesses and wanting to help them and wanting to find out more about them. So I kind of think that portion helped us. And the fact that we were in it together is what even catapulted us even more. So I think leaning on each other, especially if you're in a similar niche with another small business, is like super helpful.
I was just telling my wife that tonight. I was like, I feel really like lucky that I've met you guys and that we've gotten closer and like become friends. I think it's been so nice and it's been really helpful just to lean on each other and get advice from each other and, help each other network and all of that.
Sure.
That was awesome.
Well, Chelsea got in contact with me and then I told her about Ayana and now we're all this. And then I met Shannon, of course. This is my first time meeting with Tigra. Hi. But it's like a chain. Like we all just kind of like connected the dots between each other. So that's cool.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. So, 2020 was a big networking year. For me, that's what happened. Like Shannon had mentioned, even now it's like, okay, well, I got all these groups that I'm talking to, or I've got this networking group I'm going to meet with on the first every Thursday, or this one on a Monday, or this one on a Wednesday. I attended Text World Online, so I've been through seminars, I've been talking to people there, plus different meetings the rest of this week. Like, definitely, it can be exhausting, but exhilarating all at the same time.
I was gonna say, you need to stay on top of it. Like, I think I went through spurts of like doing that and being really involved, and then like kind of died down, and then you'd like get into the weeds of the business and kind of forget to like keep with that momentum. It's so important.
Yeah. And reaching out and meeting people, you never know what they can offer to you or what they're willing to do to help you. That's what I've learned about, doing the Converge meetings with Cincinnati Regional Chamber. Literally, they're always, hey, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Where can I help you? And I'm like, I mean, how can I help you? Because I feel like you're just offering a lot to me, which is nice. But yeah, my takeaway from last year was definitely the networking, but also, you know, after the last 2 months of the year being better than the rest of the year, I have to get out of my own way. That's the thing that I learn as
girl. Now you know I told you that.
well, we all know this. We're all women business owners, one, right? Two, for like Ashley, Shannon, and I, we have to call stores and retailers. And I'm not a salesperson. Yes, I can connect with people very well, but at the same time, depending on the day, the mood, or whatever, I feel like I'm bothering them. So, you know, I know what my product is. I know it's awesome, but me telling somebody and then believing me enough to be like, yeah, let me check it out. I don't want to waste their time. And the call is the struggle. So
cold calling is the worst.
it is.
But it's such a good skill. So if you just keep practicing, I think, you know, it's almost like you have to it's like an affirmation. You have to keep saying it until you believe it. So you have to keep calling and saying like, hey, I have this awesome thing you have to check out, until you believe it yourself, and you just like spout the same words to every single person. But now you actually like feel confident saying it.
Right. And you have to make whoever you get on the phone, whether it's just an associate or you actually get the manager or the buyer, you just have to make them believe like, oh yeah, I really need this. So I learned a lot of things from different classes and stuff that I took, like Shannon. So it's all an application. I started trying to apply it, and I also got some help for this year. So we're gonna make things work. And that was into some goals.
Isn't it weird, guys? Like that we're all in sales in a way. It's like we have our niche and we have our creative side that, like, you know, you guys are the designers and things, but it's like in a way we all are in sales too. It's weird. It's like that
all
applies to everybody.
Yeah. Like you have to sell your product, even if it's a service, it's sales. So that's why it's like, even like, not to jinx anybody, but even if our businesses didn't work out, I think this experience is like so helpful. Like wherever you go in life next, like whatever you're taking from this and doing it on your own and like getting down to the dirt and figuring out is going to be helpful like for the rest of your life. So
yeah, totally.
Yep. So we're gonna go into goals. So since Miss Shannon ended, we're gonna go reverse order this time.
See, with this one, I don't have trouble answering at all as far as like trying to think of something. It's more so like it's a lot of them.
That's okay.
You know what? I'll start with my first goal. Off of what I just said, as far as like applying everything, I think all the gems I've gathered. Because I think the last conversation we had, we were talking about marketing and, you know, helping our pieces to sell and stuff like that. I've learned so much more as far as that and on the business end of things. And so now my goal is to become disciplined and more balanced, as Latigra mentioned, like throughout my day, to make sure that I need to set a schedule too, Latigra. I've tried that and it does work. You're right about that, but I came away.
Yeah.
My goal basically is to my first goal is just to start off with just applying everything I've learned. And like I said, make sure I got balance and create a schedule so that I'm useful throughout the day, so that I can get my business to the next level. And then as far as like everything else, I think I'll cross those roads when I get there. Like the first things first, I need to apply and be productive as much as possible and smart, in a smart way. Not so hard, because I want to work smart and hard, but not so as not so much hard. I want to work a little smarter than I have been. If it makes
don't kill yourself.
and harder.
Yeah, because sometimes I feel like I'm on like a exercising bike, and I'm like getting in, but I'm not actually getting anywhere. So it's like you're working hard, but are you working the right way? Right? Because you're not getting anywhere. So that's kind of my
That
first.
is exactly how I feel.
Yeah, so let me just cross that bridge first. If we can get that goal together, I think everything else will fall in place.
Sounds good. All right, Miss Latigra.
Oh, my goals for this year. Honestly, they're just so far in between. I think for me, my biggest goal this year is just getting I guess stepping into my boldness, if that makes sense. Like I have been so like reserved with my design sometimes and my personal style, and just getting out there and stepping into my boldness as far as talking to customers, doing things like this, doing more lives, interacting with people more. That's one of my biggest goals this year, besides making lots and lots of money. To the point where I can just be like, here's $100, here's $100. But you know, that's my biggest thing I think this year, is just kind of like stepping into myself again and getting creative, because for a long time I wasn't creative, and to get back to this place, it took a lot of journey with myself. So I think that's my biggest goal this year, is just to find like the creative again and really get flowing and not feel judgmental every time I go in there and want to create. I know as creatives we get to that point where we get in there and we're like, I don't know about this. And Yana knows I have conversations with myself daily. So I'm trying to step more into my boldness, and that's kind of like my main goal this year, is just to be free, and to be happy, and be bold.
I love that.
All right.
Is it my turn? I was gonna say you both just nailed it. Like you just mentioned things that I definitely couldn't put into words, but you just summed it up really well. I think the boldness is key. I always I hate social media. I'm really bad at it. And I really struggle with like being like the face of the brand, but it's like I know that's what people connect with. I know I need to just put myself out there. I like didn't realize how shy I was, I guess, until I had to, you know, be forced to do all of that stuff. So, you know, connecting with people, networking, continuing to do all that. Again, like not working harder, but working smarter. So all of those things really resonated with me. I think too, like I said, kind of in the first half, like the business concept being turned on its head a little bit with COVID. Obviously hoping that changes, but I think really honing in on like the direction I want it to go, because this year I think I was just trying to like keep my head above water and like play around with different avenues and figure out what works and what doesn't. But it's like I want to stick to the vision. I want people to get their boxes in the mail, and if they are traveling somewhere, like really hone in on them having that experience, like bringing travel to them. You know, like maybe they can't get out of the house and maybe they can't travel, but we like bring that experience to them with the products that sorry, my cats are going crazy right now. With the experience that they're missing out on. So whether that be like the, you know, the products and everything that they're receiving, I want to get a lot better about that, because that is like the vision that I have. But so far I've been, you know, I don't have like all of the vendors lined up necessarily. So I want to just, you know, expand and make that the goal. I don't know if that makes sense. I feel like I just rambled a lot, so.
And so that makes sense, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ashley.
So I have like kind of specific goals, I guess. I would like.
You're fine.
Like, I want to make a profit this year. Last year I did, like, weirdly by the end of the year I did hit my goal that I set before the pandemic started, so I was really stoked on that. So I'm like really gonna push it this year, and I'm like, I want to make a profit. You know, I don't want to just pay back all my expenses. I want to try to push it to make a profit. I want to improve my customer experience. So I really try to, like Chelsea was kind of talking about, you know, being the face of my brand, but also like when they get my package, you know, I know Chelsea does a really good job of this. All of her stuff is, you know, packaged really cute, and I love her little concept of the lookbook. I want to kind of make, I'm not going to copy that, but I want to make it.
You can take it.
I just like when you get your product, I want it to be a little bit more experiential, because it is, I feel like a little bit more special purchase than like just any day clothes or everyday clothes. So I want to improve that. I kind of want to do, this is an idea I had a long time ago, but I haven't figured out quite how to execute it, especially now with COVID still being a thing. But I wanted to somehow get my manufacturers to send me all of my excess fabric, all my scraps, and like kind of teach like sewing lessons, like maybe virtually or like to kids or something, just by, so having a way to like weirdly recycle the fabric, but just like reuse it, repurpose it, by teaching sewing and like making new items out of it, like little bags or something like that.
I'll take your class.
Okay, I really do want to do that. I have to, figure out some stuff. I don't know why I was on this topic, but I told my dentist about it, and she was like, oh, I would so sign up my daughter. So now I have 2 people who would take my class, so that's cool. But I think I just want to do it because it connects to me too. Like, I learned how to sew when I was like 13 years old. So, I was kind of still a kid, and now it got me to now I'm designing clothing. So it's kind of, I don't know. I like it. It connects me to my manufacturers. It connects me to customers and to people who want to learn a skill. And it helps me be a little bit more sustainable by reusing what would otherwise just go to the landfill or be scraps, whatever. And I also kind of want to, I know you guys, since you guys are in like the same city, you guys probably get to do things a little bit more, but I want to start a women's business coalition type thing here in Las Vegas. I'm sure they do have little things like that, but I want to start one where it's like women that I know and, in other fields where we could all connect and kind of help each other, but also, just kind of suggest to other people like, oh, I know this girl who does this, or if I know an accountant, like now I'll use that person in the Women's Business Coalition as the accountant. So just kind of like create a little bit more of a community of women business entrepreneurs in my community so that we can all lean on each other. And, just because, like I said, when you're collaborating, it makes it a lot easier for all of us small business owners. So why don't we just, conglomerate and all do it together? So those are some of my goals. I'm sure there's more that I'm missing. I want to lose some weight too. I want to leave the country. I want to go somewhere. I'm getting bored. I go to book a flight that I canceled last year, and literally the CDC announces you have to have a negative COVID test, and now I'm freaking out because I'm like, well, what if I don't? What if something happens to me and I'm stuck in Mexico? So there's things like that too.
Those are pretty good. I like them. Yeah, literally though. But you were talking about, dealing with your community and dealing with your manufacturer. Literally, these are all things that I was thinking of as well. But like Shannon, the first thing is the first thing. So of course, I already said getting out of my way. So making those specific goals. Hey, I want to be in 4 to 8 or 10 stores by the end of this year. So that's a hard goal, but maybe we can do it
though.
Right.
Just specific and measurable.
Exactly.
Figure out how many stores you want to be in and then hit it.
Exactly. It's objectives. So measurable goals.
Measurable goals, yeah.
Other than that, what else are we looking forward to this year? It's mostly growth and expansion, not just, for the business, but personally and just overall network. Definitely, like I said, been meeting a lot of people, but it's, how do I describe it? Quality people, that are valuable to your life, not just like your business or whatever, or that are like, hey, we're cool for like 10 minutes and then bye. No, thank you. Quality, valuable people. What else am I looking forward to this year? Oh, yes, back to community. I want to get more involved within, Cincinnati and nationally, globally, whatever, however. Like Ashley just said about building the women's community, getting involved in, there are quite a few organizations, not just in Cincinnati, but nationally with women's mental health or, business owners and various things. So would love to do that, and definitely would love to give back in that capacity because that's what my brand is about, connecting and building there. Other than that, yeah, I'm ready to get on to that second collection. Like Ashley, like,
girl.
You've seen it so much. We have seen our collection at least for the last 2 years. Well, now 3 years. We're tired of it. I mean, I love it. It's still great. It's an awesome product. Not everybody's seen it, but I've seen it. So it makes it a little harder to, get enthused and get somebody else excited about it.
And your OG customers that like bought from you early on are now like ready. You know, they're waiting. They're willing. They're waiting to use their credit card. They're just like, when is it gonna be here? So you're like, I know, I'm doing the best I can.
Right. I'm like, you could give me all the money and then I can get you the new stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like, I had a friend who, you know, I've been posting a little bit more about the fall stuff getting ready to come out. And he texted me, he was like, I'm mad that you just posted the thing I can't even get yet. I'm like, this is what I have to do. Like, technically as a brand, I'm supposed to be posting things ahead of the season. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't. But that's technically what we're supposed to be doing. And I need to create the hype to get the money to produce it. So I'm sorry, but this is just how it is.